overview video of the installation and overall functions. So this is a Tesla style Android head unit display. Now this is for the F150, so this is fairly new to the market. It's a Yulu E10 unit. There's not much on it out there, so I figured I'd give it a shot. I did a lot of research on it. It seems the people that bought and used it, they've had great results. It's feature packed. Now the unique thing about this one is it retains majority of your sync features, as your sync head unit is actually kept intact. So you don't remove the head unit. This just basically replaces the screen and adds in all the extra features. So got it in today. We'll do a quick unboxing, see what we get in the box, and then I'll just do a quick demonstration installation video and go from there. Alright, so opening the box right up top, it looks like you get a free set of just a cheap pair of gloves. I mean, that's neat. Give you something. And then obviously you have some paperwork. This is the packaging list and some configuration instructions for the settings, common issues list. Okay, and then this is the harness connection manual. This kind of just shows you what option you have, whether you have sync 1, sync 2, or 3. It gives you different configurations of what's going to be used and what's not going to be used. Okay, so there's that, and now, so here is the head unit itself. We'll just do a quick peek at this. Okay. Alright, so there is the head unit itself. This is what it comes and looks like right out of the box. Alright, so we'll just slip this right back in. We'll come back to that later. Alright, so we pull that. Okay, so next we have all of the wiring. So you actually get quite a bit of different stuff. Looks like they also give you a, that's cool, you get a little tool set included with it. Pretty much should be everything you need to get this thing installed. So everything with this unit is, it's all plug and play. So what's in here is all you will need for your configuration for your F150. I believe this unit goes from model year 2015 up to 2019. Everything that's needed, like I said, to install this fully is included in here. Some of these connections will not be used. It all depends on what setup you have. And then for people to have like sync 1, sync 2 with the non-automatic AC units or climate control units, you would end up swapping this out on the head unit itself. So this is going to be installed on a 2018 F150 Lariat version, so this will not be needed. So we'll put that aside. But yeah, it looks like, yep, get stiff covers for the top of the unit in case if you don't have certain options, you can cover the buttons. And then there's some screws in here. And then looks like it comes, so it comes with this audio box. So there are a few F150 units that they say if it does not produce audio when everything's connected, you would need to install this as well. I do not believe that my unit will need this, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But that's pretty much it. You also get the GPS antenna, and then there's a 4G antenna, so there's also a 4G radio in here, so you can connect it to your wireless network. And then there should be a SIM card adapter in here. So this is a USB extension, and that's going to be somewhere in here as well, hopefully. All right, so that's just a quick unboxing. We're going to move on to the installation portion of this. This F-150 is going to be installed, and like I said, 2018 F-150 Lariat. So what I did, I went ahead and installed a battery charger, just because I don't know exactly how long this is going to take, so we don't drain the battery. So this one does have the full 360 cameras in it as well, and that's what the stock unit looks like here. So Yulu has a YouTube page, and they offer complete installation videos which show you step by step how everything has to be taken apart as far as the whole unit here, and then the installation of the new unit. It's pretty self-explanatory. Video is done very well, and pretty much anybody with any basic knowledge of any radio systems or anything like that should be able to install it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get going, and maybe do a few drop-ins as I install. Alright, so there's the old unit completely removed. It's gonna be the old faceplate. So from this you gotta reuse some of the parts off of this, like the buttons and some of the backings, which go on to very minor issue that I want to note. So this is what they send you. They send you a Phillips head, and they want you to take off the old screws. As you can see, that is a star. No big deal. I have my own tools, but just so you know, tools you get in the box might not work on your stock. Here's the interchange you're doing between the stock unit and the new unit. Basically, take out all the screws. This is the stock one. Take this plate off. And then same thing on this. Remove the screws, take the cover off. And now we're basically transferring this whole board over onto this side, including all the buttons. Second issue I noticed with the installation, also very minor, the clips right here, it doesn't come with the little latches that attach to that. So you'll also have to remove that from the stock unit. So just make sure before you start putting that in, these little clips, you got to remove it from the old one, put it on the new unit before you try to put it in. Alright, so here's the unit installed. It actually fits pretty good. So I just left this open up top. I'm gonna run some, turn it on for the first time real quick. Just do some testing, make sure everything's connected properly before I close that up. Alright, so here's the finished product. So overall, very happy with it. The install itself took about 2 hours, roughly. You will probably be spending at least 3 to 4 hours overall with messing with all the settings and different things like that. Now the 2 hours, that doesn't include running the cable to the back of the truck if you want the trunk release, which is right here. You just push this, that opens up the back. If you have the electronic lift gate in the back, which is a pretty neat feature. I also love that you retain the actual physical buttons and knobs down here for your heating and AC. Definitely nice to have the physical buttons, and then also up here you have a display with this is right on the home screen. This is the display for the heating and cooling as well, adjusting where you want the airflow. Now the neat thing about having this here is it shows all the digital information, like your heat settings and what your fan speed is at and things like that, which obviously down here doesn't show. This stays on the home screen. Most apps, it'll stay on the bottom. Nice display. You got your vehicle right there, shows the tire pressure, and when you're actually driving, it shows the speed accurately, your RPMs. And then, so this is pretty much what the home screen looks like. You got your navigation there. I got Google Maps, and then here's going to be your media stuff up here, and then your generalized buttons up top. So overall, pretty straightforward install. The one thing you do lose is a physical volume button. So volume's either controlled right here or on your actual steering wheel, but there's no physical turn knob for the volume. Not a deal breaker. You still have a physical button on the steering wheel. So as far as the install, like I said, pretty straightforward. Ran into a couple of minor issues. So I got all my features working. Like I said, this is a 2018 F150 Lariat edition with the 360 cameras and the B&O radio system. So all of that was able to be retained. Only issue I'm having right now is just the front camera. I've been working back and forth with the tech support. They've actually been pretty good. They reached out back to me within a couple hours, went over a few things over Facebook. So they're actually working on a possible software update in the next day or so, and they're going to try possibly have me flash and see if that helps. Seems to be an issue with the settings in sync. So the physical button up here for the camera doesn't work, which activates the front end camera. And also when I'm in drive, the front end camera does not work. So if you can see right now, I'll put it in drive. So this is what I get. No front end camera. It just seems to be a configuration issue, because if I set the truck on a different model and settings, the button works, but then the video signal still doesn't work. And then if I put it in reverse, you can see reverse pops up fine, and I also get the 360 camera, which also uses the front camera, and you can see the front camera works there. So it's definitely a configuration issue. They're gonna try to get that sorted out, get that figured out. So as far as the radio itself, pretty responsive. So that's the full screen navigation. And then down here you have your back button, home button. Home button always brings you back there. And then we got the apps. So right here is going to be all your apps. Now on here there's also let's see, car settings. So this is all the options for enabling, disabling different features and stuff that you might have in your vehicle. So all those are done here. And then obviously there's the settings for the general Android settings and a few others, like for the 4G SIM card, things like that. Like I said, no issues so far. Obviously I don't know how it's going to perform. This is only the second day with this unit, so we'll see as far as time how that goes. Drop down menu, you just have some quick access, just some options like your Wi-Fi, clear memory, reset. One thing I noticed happened to me a couple times, not a big deal. That's where the reset option came into play. All that does is just clears your memory, just restarts the unit. It doesn't delete anything. Just kind of freshens up and restarts. The issue I had is just like the whole second portion. So I had this and I scroll over here, most of these apps were missing. So I just restarted it and the apps were right back in there. But like I said, everything's pretty responsive as far as that goes. Like YouTube, open up YouTube, everything pretty responsive, go right back home. And then now here's the alternative screen for your home. That's just a swipe back to that, or you could just get the truck icon. One other minor issue I ran into was going from media. So I believe I was in radio, and then I went into YouTube. So from radio, obviously that just takes you back to your radio stations. You got the bands. It retains pretty much most of your stock features. Even if you have the Sirius XM, which I don't use Sirius XM, but you have that. That's retained on here as well. Let's see, atmosphere, if you have the atmospheric lamp, change the colors on the inside, that's also on there. Tire pressure management system, Android Auto wireless, wireless CarPlay, works pretty good. That's done under T-Link. Now I noticed there's really no need for me to use Android Auto anymore. I just connect my phone Bluetooth and I can control like changing the music tracks, volume, anything on my phone, and then anything else I need Android related, I just use it on here. So I even got my home app downloaded so I can access my Google Nest cameras and all my other home smart home stuff. MyQ, that's my garage door opener, so I can set that up, and I can literally open my garage door right from the app here. So all that does, log in. There we go. Click that. Works pretty well. That's the neat thing about it. Like I said, Android system, so you'll be able to download all your favorite apps, or majority at least of them. I believe this is going to be more towards the tablet apps. So whatever apps are, you know, geared towards tablets, they should be available right in the App Store, Play Store right up top here. So you open that up. Like I said, overall pretty flashy. Seems to work pretty well. Another thing I noticed I don't like is if I hit the volume. I'm hitting it right now on there. It doesn't physically show you anywhere that the volume's going up and down. This right here, this is just for the heat control. So even pressing it here, you don't actually know what volume setting it's on. Like one time when I started a YouTube video and it just started blasting because I didn't know what volume setting was on. That's the only thing I really noticed so far. Other than that, it was just you know, the delay and transitioning over from like radio. I encountered it a couple times. Doesn't seem to be a reoccurring issue regularly. Where switching from, let's say, radio, I went into Bluetooth and it doesn't immediately start playing music off of my phone, or anything I play on the phone. I had to close out the apps, which up here, if you hit this shows all of the open apps. Close that out, go back into Bluetooth again down here, and then after hitting play, I think it was like a 4-second delay, and it finally started playing the music off of there. But aside from that, like I said, pretty flashy. You retain all your features. Like I said, I had no issues. Forward pass is still working fine. Only thing I noticed in forward pass, it doesn't display the location properly of your truck. I wonder if that has something to do with maybe the stock GPS antenna, or it might actually be just a setting, because on the stock unit you'll be able to adjust the setting and enable and disable location services. So I'm wondering if that's just disabled on that, and it just might be preventing it from doing that. So I'll have to just see if there's a way to enable that without actually having the sync settings physically on here. Now the B&O system, like I said, it retains all of the sound quality. The sound quality, surprisingly, has actually been amazing. I think the overall settings, like the bass, treble, all that, seems to be working a little better than the stock system. It utilizes the B&O system pretty well as far as you know, just projecting the sound and different things. Another neat thing on here is you have let's see, I believe this, yep. So in here you literally can adjust every frequency on your radio, the sound projection. So if you like more bass, or depending on whatever settings you like, there's literally so many options on here. And then you have the random stock options based on what you want, and then that adjusts it accordingly. Or obviously user adjustable, you adjust it yourself. Alright, so I mean, overall, very happy with it. We'll see. Like I said, the only thing that I really have an issue with now is just that front camera. I utilize that a lot, just because of work and everything, just getting around in tight spaces. So I do actually use the front camera quite a bit. So as long as they could get that figured out, probably end up keeping this unit, and maybe do an update couple months down the line, seeing what the differences are, if there's any problems or issues like that. The seller advised they will be offering software updates, so we'll see how that goes. Other than that, if you guys have any questions or anything, if you want me to test any stock features, make sure they're properly working. Like I said, so far everything that I've had, and I have the feature wise on this truck, it's been working perfectly fine aside from that front camera. Other than that, everything else was working perfectly fine, including the the buttons right up top.